In the heart of Toronto's Portland stands a colossal relic, a silent sentinel of a bygone industrial era, the Richard L. Hearn Generating Station. Its towering smokestack, a landmark visible across the city, hints at a powerful past, but reveals little of the dramatic story it holds within its decaying walls. Once the roaring heart of Ontario's energy grid, the Hearn has witnessed Toronto's explosive growth, grappled with environmental crises, and endured decades of abandonment. Now, it stands on the cusp of yet another transformation, poised to become a vibrant new district. This report will journey through the complete life cycle of the Hearn power plant, from its ambitious construction to its powerful operational years, its quiet decommissioning, and its potential rebirth as a cornerstone of Toronto's future. The Hearn's very foundation illustrates a profound aspect of urban development, the layering of history, where one era's needs and byproducts become the literal groundwork for the next. The site itself, once Ashbridge's Bay, a shallow marsh, was systematically filled with rubble from downtown construction sites from 1911 to the 1950s. This means the ground upon which the Hearn rose was quite literally built from the discarded materials of the city it would eventually power. This physical transformation of the landscape, utilizing the city's own waste to create a site for its energy infrastructure, demonstrates a continuous, often overlooked, cycle of physical and functional metamorphosis within the urban environment. The past, in this instance, literally underpins the present and future, making the Hearn a tangible representation of Toronto's layered developmental history. The mid-20th century marked a period of explosive growth for Toronto, driven by the post-World War II baby boom and significant immigration. This expansion fueled an unprecedented demand for electricity, with Toronto's kilowatt-hour consumption surging by a staggering 75% between 1945 and 1955 alone. To meet this escalating need, the Hydro-Electric Power Commission of Ontario, a pioneering public utility, embarked on an ambitious project, the R.L. Hearn Generating Station. Named after Richard Lancaster Hearn, a key figure in Ontario hydro, this plant was designed to be Canada's first 100-megawatt steam turbogenerator set and a cornerstone of the province's energy future. The chosen site, what was once Ashbridge's Bay, underwent a dramatic transformation. This shallow marsh had been systematically filled with rubble from downtown construction sites from 1911 right up to the 1950s, literally building the ground upon which this industrial giant would rise. The design fell to the American engineering firm Stone & Webster, with key components sourced internationally and domestically. Parsons in England built the massive turbine generators, while Canadian companies Babcock & Wilcox, Cambridge, Ontario, and Combustion Engineering, Montreal, Quebec, fabricated the boilers. This truly was a collaborative effort on a grand scale, reflecting the national and international scope of such a major infrastructure project. Officially opened on October 26, 1951, by Premier Leslie Frost, the Hearn began with 2 units in service, quickly expanding to 4 by 1953. The plant initially burned coal, which was transported by ships through the St. Lawrence Seaway, a logistical feat in itself. A significant challenge during its early years, and a testament to the evolving electrical landscape, was the conversion from 25 Hz to 60 Hz power. Hearn's first 2 units were converted in 1953 to 54, part of a massive provincial standardization program that saw over 1.8 million motors and hundreds of thousands of appliances converted across Ontario by the early 1960s. This immense undertaking, involving the widespread adaptation of household and industrial equipment, underscores the often unseen infrastructure demands that underpin rapid urban and economic expansion. It demonstrates that supporting growth is not merely about constructing large facilities, but also about the intricate, widespread adaptation of existing systems that permeate daily life. By March 22, 1961, the Richard L. Hearn plant reached its full capacity of 1,200 megawatts, a monumental achievement for its time. The total construction cost for this powerhouse was $156 million Canadian dollars. Interestingly, despite the immediate need for a coal-fired solution, there was already an underlying tension at the plant's very inception. Richard L. Hearn, for whom the station was named, was a proponent of nuclear-based generating stations rather than coal. Furthermore, Even before the new coal station was completed, discussions were already underway about phasing it out in favor of nuclear stations. This reveals a fascinating conflict between the immediate post-war imperative for rapid, large-scale power generation and an early awareness among key figures of potentially cleaner, more advanced energy alternatives. This foreshadowed the plant's eventual environmental struggles and decommissioning, indicating that even in periods of rapid industrial expansion, long-term energy strategies were being considered, albeit sometimes sidelined by immediate economic and population-driven demands. At its peak in the 1960s, the Hearn was a behemoth of power generation, a vibrant industrial hub. Its boilers consumed an astonishing 400 tons of coal per hour, while 36 million gallons of cooling water from Lake Ontario were needed hourly for its turbines and equipment. The turbine hall itself, almost 300 meters long, housed 12 turbine generator sets, a truly impressive sight for the up to 600 people employed there. The Hearn served as a vital training ground for Ontario's energy workforce. Many operators, maintainers, and technicians began their careers at the station, later moving on to other Ontario hydro plants, including the province's Canada nuclear stations. However, this industrial might came at a significant cost. The station's initial 8 shorter chimneys were a constant source of air pollution, spewing fly ash and other particulates into local neighborhoods and downtown Toronto, contributing heavily to the city's infamous smog problem. This period highlights a societal shift in what constitutes progress. Initially, the focus was almost solely on raw industrial output and economic growth, with the environmental consequences largely unaddressed. By the late 1960s, an emerging environmental movement put immense pressure on authorities to address the pollution. The response was monumental. In 1971, the 8 short chimneys were demolished and replaced by a single, colossal smokestack, standing 215 meters tall, one of the tallest in the world at the time, costing $9 million. Electrostatic precipitators were also added for the 200 megawatts units. This dramatically reduced air pollution, and the area around the plant even became known for good fishing and recreation. This expansion of the definition of progress to include mitigating negative externalities like pollution, though a compromise reflecting the technological and economic realities of the time, marked a significant step in environmental consciousness. Further efforts to clean up its act saw the plant converted to burn natural gas by the end of 1971. While this reduced pollution, it came with increased operating costs and lower efficiency compared to modern plants. This shift also sparked controversy, as Alberta's Premier Peter Lougheed criticized Ontario's appalling waste of natural gas and a cheap ride at Alberta's expense in December 1972. This demonstrates that energy production is never an isolated technical or economic activity. Environmental concerns directly influenced operational changes, which then had significant political ramifications, sparking interprovincial disputes over resource allocation and cost. This illustrates the complex, multi-layered web of relationships between energy policy, environmental impact, public health, and intergovernmental relations. Beyond environmental concerns, the Hearn's operational period was also marked by difficult labor relations, with several near strikes and conflicts between various unions and management. The plant was even a founding local of the Canadian Union of Operating Engineers and General Workers, CUOE Local 100, in 1960. These social dynamics further highlight how a single industrial facility can become a focal point for broader societal debates, demonstrating how local issues can quickly escalate into regional or national political conflicts. The Hearn's reign as a primary power generator began to wane in the late 1970s. Units 1 to 5 were mothballed between 1978 and 1979. The final blow came in July 1983, when the last 3 200 megawatts units, which had briefly resumed burning coal alongside natural gas, were phased out of operation. The reasons for its decommissioning were multifaceted: growing concerns about increased air pollution in Toronto, despite the new smokestack and gas conversion, and a provincial energy landscape now characterized by an abundant energy supply, largely from nuclear power. With power production ceased, the plant's massive workforce dwindled. Staff levels plummeted from 600 at its peak to around 180 when power production stopped in 1983, with many taking early retirement or transferring to other sites. A skeleton crew of about 10 remained until 1995, maintaining the electrical control room and switchyard, and operating some generators as synchronous condensers to improve Toronto's power quality, a quiet, lingering heartbeat of a once mighty machine. This decline illustrates the profound economic and social aftermath of industrial decline. While environmental improvements and a shift in energy policy were driving forces for closure, the human cost was significant, with hundreds losing their livelihoods. This highlights the complex trade-offs inherent in large-scale energy transitions, where technological advancements can render once vital industries obsolete, leaving behind social and economic voids. Despite its official closure, there were several attempts to bring the Hearn back online in the 1980s and early 1990s, proposing natural gas, cogeneration, or even, bizarrely, burning medical waste. The closest it came was in 1990, when Ontario Hydro planned a $69 million restart of 2 units for the winter of 1991, only for the project to be cancelled by the New Democratic Party government. The physical dismantling began gradually. By 2004, the ground floor was undergoing demolition, with only columns and scrap piles remaining. All 8 generators were finally removed and scrapped in 2007, coinciding with the opening of the nearby Portland's Energy Centre, a new natural gas plant. The Hearn then sat largely empty and neglected for decades, its exterior showing cracks, and its interior prone to flooding from burst rainwater leaders. Its complex ownership structure, involving provincial, federal, and private leaseholders, further complicated any attempts at a cohesive future. The dangers of this abandoned industrial giant became tragically real in 2008 when an urban explorer lost his footing and died after falling into an old coal chute. Film crews who later worked on site described it as toxic, with an electrical inspector refusing to enter, highlighting the severe contamination and safety hazards of the Brownfield site. This underscores the persistent shadow of industrial contamination. Decommissioning a large industrial plant is not a clean, simple process of turning off the lights. It involves confronting a deep-seated legacy of environmental contamination and physical hazards that remain decades after operations cease. The toxic label is not just a figure of speech but a real, ongoing threat, demonstrating that the environmental footprint of heavy industry extends far beyond its operational life, requiring long-term management and investment for true closure and revitalization. For years, the Hearn sat as a colossal, abandoned shell, yet its unique industrial aesthetic and immense scale began to attract an unexpected new life. From 2002, Ontario Power Generation began leasing it out, primarily for film and television productions. Its cavernous interior and rugged exterior made it a sought-after backdrop for countless scenes. The Hearn also found a vibrant, albeit temporary, role as a cultural venue, most notably hosting the Luminato Arts Festival in 2014 and 2016. These events showcased the building's cathedral-like aspect and its potential as a public space, breathing new life into this incredible structure. The building's sheer size is staggering. It is almost as big in volume as the Rogers Centre, with a smokestack standing over 700 feet tall, so high that jets from the island airport must climb steeply to clear it. Its clear-span space could accommodate 4 NHL ice rinks end-to-end, and its incredibly well-founded, concrete structures, built to withstand massive turbine vibrations, are likened to ancient Roman catacombs. These attributes highlight the inherent architectural and structural value of the site, despite its past. However, repurposing such a giant comes with immense challenges. Decades of neglect have left the building with cracks and internal flooding from burst rainwater leaders. Its ownership is notoriously complicated, involving provincial, federal, and private entities. Most critically, it is an industrial brownfield property that requires massive remediation before it is fit for human occupancy, with film crews describing it as toxic and an electrical inspector refusing to enter due to the conditions. Despite these hurdles, a bold vision for the Hearn district has emerged. Developers Cortel Group, Partisans, and SVN have unveiled a plan to transform the 13.17-hectare site into a vibrant mixed-use community. This ambitious proposal includes up to 8,400 residential units, offering a mix of market, affordable, workforce, and family housing, alongside commercial, retail, office, and entertainment spaces. The plan centers on preserving the Hearn's industrial character while integrating modern urban design. Proposed features include public spaces like Smokestack Plaza and Hearn Plaza, a realigned pedestrian and cycling-friendly Onwin Avenue, and enhanced connectivity via a water taxi landing and a pedestrian/cycling bridge over the ship channel. Sustainability is a key focus, with proposals for geothermal systems, bioswales for stormwater, and a district energy network aiming for a net-zero carbon footprint. Architecturally, the plan is ambitious, proposing 5 new towers rising directly from the Hearn building itself, alongside 7 new development blocks, each with 2 towers. The Hearn site has also been designated under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act, and an official plan amendment application has been submitted to the City of Toronto, signaling a formal step towards this ambitious future. However, a significant point of contention exists within this grand vision. Some assessments state the property is not suitable for residential development because it is too close to the Portland's natural gas generating plant, a modern 550 megawatts facility that became fully operational in 2009 and is planning upgrades to 600 megawatts. This raises critical questions about the feasibility and safety of the proposed residential component, given the ongoing industrial activity and the site's brownfield status. This direct contradiction highlights a fundamental tension between the aspirational vision of urban transformation and the practical realities of environmental legacy and existing industrial infrastructure. The success of the Hearn district hinges on overcoming these profound challenges, particularly the suitability for residential use and the extent of environmental remediation required. Despite these complexities, the Hearn is widely described as a unique civic asset, an incredible opportunity, and a rock on the waterfront. Its transformation is framed as creating a new community that honors Toronto's history while looking to the future. This demonstrates a significant shift in urban planning and cultural values, where obsolete industrial sites are increasingly preserved and adapted rather than simply demolished. The Hearn's immense scale, robust construction, and unique aesthetic are recognized as inherent assets that can anchor new development, becoming a catalyst for revitalizing entire districts like the Port Lands. This aligns with global trends of industrial heritage preservation, such as London's Tate Modern. The Richard L. Hearn Generating Station is more than just a decommissioned power plant, it is a monumental testament to Toronto's relentless growth, its evolving relationship with energy, and its journey towards environmental consciousness. From its birth as a coal-fired giant powering a booming post-war city, through its struggle with pollution and its eventual conversion to natural gas, the Hearn mirrored the industrial ambitions and environmental awakening of the 20th century. Its long period of abandonment, marked by decay and danger, yet punctuated by bursts of cultural life, has only deepened its mystique. Now, as plans for the Hearn district unfold, this industrial relic stands poised for a dramatic rebirth, aiming to transform a site of past pollution into a model of sustainable, mixed-use urban living. The Hearn's complete life cycle embodies a profound circularity in urban development. A natural space was transformed by urban waste to enable industrial growth. That industry then generated its own waste and obsolescence, leading to its closure. Now, the industrial relic itself is being retransformed, aiming for a more integrated and sustainable urban fabric. The city is literally building upon its own past, recycling its physical and functional layers. This dynamic, often messy, but ultimately regenerative process of urban evolution highlights the continuous negotiation between human needs, technological capabilities, environmental impact, and the desire for a better quality of life in cities, demonstrating how past decisions shape future possibilities and challenges. The challenges are immense, from complex remediation and the inherent toxicity of a brownfield site to navigating its proximity to active industrial neighbors and the unresolved questions of residential suitability, but the vision is equally grand. The Hearn story is a powerful reminder that our cities are living entities, constantly evolving, and that even the most imposing structures can find new purpose, connecting our past to a more sustainable future. The Hearn is not just a building, it is a narrative in concrete and steel, a symbol of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring human capacity to reimagine what is possible. It serves as a powerful case study for cities worldwide grappling with their industrial past, offering lessons in adaptive reuse, environmental remediation, and the complex interplay of public and private interests in shaping urban landscapes for a more sustainable future.